at the start of the division series. ALDS starts today. It is Thursday, October 7th. Wildcard games are over. We've got a big rundown today. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to go through. We're recapping both wildcard games. Aram, Peter, and myself are filling out our postseason brackets. We're telling you who's going to win each pennant, who's going to win the World Series. Might even name some impact players here and there. But let's dial it back to Tuesday night. Red Sox beat the Yankees in the AL wildcard game. Peter is a diehard Yankee fan. He wrote a phenomenal article on justbaseball.com documenting pretty much half inning by half inning how his dreams were just crushed in the palm of Nate Eovaldi's hand. And Peter, the floor is yours.
So I fell into a trap. I fell into a trap that I put there for myself. I knew this team didn't have it. I've known since 2017 that this team didn't have it. And every year I fall right back into the cycle, right? And this is a macro evaluation of it all before we get into the nitty gritty. This has been a pattern of underperforming Yankee teams that for some reason have this feeling that they've earned it when they haven't earned anything. This is the same core, or at least a very similar core from 2017. We haven't really built on it, and we're almost relying on our old Yankee late 1990s heroism to take over. I am 23 years old. We talk about this, right? Yankees won 27 World Series. Yankees won 27 World Series.
You guys talk about it.
We talk about that. Everyone hates Yankee fans for that. Put it to bed forever right now. For anyone my age or younger, we have seen one World Series championship.
Yep.
2009. That's really the only one I remember. Our identity now is overpaid players that don't perform in the playoffs. We are not a championship level team that just got outed this year. We are a team of overpaid players. And that's all. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move from there. I told you that we're going to start with the trunk of the tree with your rant, and we're going to split into different branches. Let's start with the overpaid player that underperforms in the playoff narrative, because that's who took the mound yesterday. Garrett Cole couldn't make it out of the third inning. Your $324 million man who you paid to start the American League wildcard game pretty much, start game one of the ALDS, start game one of the ALCS, start game one of the World Series when you guys inevitably got there with Garrett Cole at the peak of his powers. He is literally the guy from Endgame. What's his name?
Thanos.
Yeah, he is literally Thanos pitching when you sign him. And then it turns out he's not, because there are some pieces of kryptonite sprinkled here and there. We knew it all too well coming into the wild card game, right? It was the long ball. If he was going to get tagged for runs, we both called it. We both called it and documented it. If he was going to get hit for runs, it was going to happen via the home run. It was going to happen within the first couple of innings. Wouldn't you know, 2-run bomb from Xander Bogaerts. I do think we need to push back on the overpaid narrative now, because that was the Yankees of old. That was the 2009 Yankees. That was the early 2010s Yankees. Aside from Garrett Cole, who are you guys paying an ungodly amount of money to? The Marlins handed Giancarlo that contract. Everybody else feels homegrown. You didn't drop the bag for DJ LeMahieu.
But we did. We're still paying DJ LeMahieu a decent amount of money now, and he's just on the back end of his career. Aroldis Chapman, another guy we're paying. Zach Britton, another guy we're paying. There are a decent amount of guys that we're overpaying.
Okay, but those are reliever contracts. You got to remember that. Those are reliever contracts. They don't mean shit. Like the Colorado Rockies signed Wade Davis to that big deal, and look at Wade Davis now. Sox just did it with Liam Hendricks. My White Sox did it with Liam Hendricks. You know, relievers you have to overpay for, because in the grand scheme, $30 million is not a crazy amount of money to spend on who you think is your closer for the next 3 years. And for the most part, Aroldis Chapman earned the money of that contract over the last couple of years. He did struggle a little bit this year, But if you're looking at relievers and how hot and cold they are, he kind of earned it. I do want to push back
in the biggest moments. Astros, the biggest moments, he didn't earn it. Garrett Cole, this is why I'm talking about overpaying. He didn't earn it when we needed him most. You and I were talking. Earn the second best pitcher in baseball title. Earn it. He threw 50 pitches. He got paid $36 million this year. He threw 50 pitches in the AL wildcard game. 2 home runs, 3 earned runs, 2 innings. But this is not a rant on how bad Garrett Cole is. Because I said it. I tweeted it out. We talked about it too. You got to score more than 3 to win anyway. This is a bigger problem than just Garrett Cole. But Garrett Cole, and we talk about the sticky stuff thing. Everyone's calling him the spider tack guy. It's not fair to put him as the face of it because Darvish was dealing with the same thing. A lot of pitchers had bad second halves.
James Karinchak's in AAA.
James Karinchak, well, he just actually got back up to the major leagues. I think he actually had a stint, but regardless, he was back in AAA. But the narrative around the spider tack, the sticky stuff, Garrett Cole, before the sticky stuff, was in the low 2s. After, he was in the 4s. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. You can point to whatever. But as a Yankee fan, it is understandable to make that claim. And it is understandable for fans to be upset. And what could Garrett Cole have done to shoulder that load a little bit off him? Shove yesterday. What did he do? The opposite.
The opposite. And the evil empire of old was handing out the $150 million contract to Jacoby Ellsbury and Masahiro Tanaka and Mark Teixeira. They're not doing that anymore. With Garrett Cole, that was their big splash.
They still kind of are, bro. It's not to the crazy extent that it once was, but we're still handing out $300 million contracts.
Right. No, I was going to say that Cole is the outlier there. And Garrett Cole, when you make that gross amount of money, you forfeit any form of innocence that you have.
Especially in New York. And he knows that.
In New York.
He knows that. He wanted it. He signed here.
He thought that he was invincible. He is so mortal. It's crazy. I want to talk about what Aaron Boone said after the game. The league has closed the gap on us. We've got to get better in every aspect. When were you so ahead of this wide gap?
We weren't. That's the thing. We never were. And we convinced ourselves. I'm saying we. It's me. I convinced myself. I got to stop saying we. It's all me. I convinced myself, even though I watched, how many other games have we bet on and watched? I see that the Rays are better. Hundreds. I know, first of all, the Rays are just way better. We talk about the Yankees offense. I should have known that they weren't going to hit in this game. They scored 5 runs in the previous 2 games against the Rays and then were shut out by Michael Wacha and was an Aaron Judge infield single away from losing that game.
Yep.
The Yankees are built on momentum. The Rays came in and said, no matter if you beat Boston, we're just better than you. We're just better than you. You can beat Boston, come to Tampa, you're going to get schwacked. Boston proved they were just better than us. Their young core kicked our core's ass. The Toronto Blue Jays are probably a better team than the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
The White Sox and the Astros are for sure a better team than the New York Yankees. And I bet the Yankees would have lost to the Mariners in the wild card game. And then that's not even counting all the teams in the National League. We were never actually as good as these teams. And it's not a same Yankee team that was so overpowering and just laid an egg. No. We're just getting outplayed while spending more money than everybody else.
And a lot of it is discipline. A lot of it. And you and I have been so frustrated by the Yankee approach at the plate. And the wild card game is
a perfect example.
It is emblematic of that. Red Sox pitching, 11 strikeouts, no walks. Red Sox hitting, 9 strikeouts, 7 walks taken. You strike out 11 times. You only ground out twice. You constantly put balls in the air. I understand that's how you win games. But the Yankees were putting lazy fly ball after lazy fly ball right into Kike Hernandez's grasp. And As somebody that genuinely doesn't like the Yankees and hasn't my entire life, that's how I was brought up. I was frustrated for you watching that. It's like the team in basketball that lives by the three and dies by the three.
Yep.
When they're hitting shots, oh my God, it's so fun. When the Yankees are putting balls out of the ballpark, oh my God, it's so fun. But when they can't, you get so pissed off and frustrated, it's unfathomable.
You know what it was like? Your comparison shooting threes versus not. It was like if you were watching the Warriors rely on their big man inside and not shooting threes. Because the Yankees and the Red Sox almost, and I wrote about this in the article, they switched approaches. The Red Sox have actually not been that disciplined that year at the plate. Yeah. Yet their thought is, let's take as many pitches. First at bat, Kyle Schwarber, ball off the plate, called for a strike. He looks back and they were on it. They were on it immediately, and they were taking pitches. They were not letting Cole have them chase outside the zone. They were very disciplined. The Yankees, on the other hand, first pitch of the game, Anthony Rizzo grounds out. Aaron Judge, second pitch of his at-bat, pops out. Like, they switched mindsets.
It was Freaky Friday.
It was Freaky Friday. Instead of the Yankee way of getting on base for a Stanton home run, seeing pitches, getting deep into the bullpen, they said, you know what? Eovaldi's going to get pulled early. We got to jump on pitches. Well, you know what? Eovaldi went into the sixth inning, 74 pitches or 71 pitches, 54 of them for strikes, 0 fucking walks.
The team that saw the most pitches in baseball this year and had the highest walk rate of any team in baseball didn't draw a single walk.
Exactly. It's like if the Warriors didn't shoot a single 3.
Yeah. It's screwed up. And I do want to talk about Eovaldi for a moment, and then we'll get into the grand scheme of the Yankee future. He was fantastic. You got to think about it, though. Eovaldi is kind of a taste of your own medicine. Because Nathan Eovaldi,
absolutely.
He came from Miami. He was a high velocity guy. And what happened when he was in New York? What turned him into a good pitcher? He learned a splitter from Masahiro Tanaka.
Bang. And it just came back to bite us. And not only was Eovaldi so excellent, he was giving us the Nestor Cortez treatment. He was Nestor Cortezing us. Varying the leg lift, still dotting 100, throwing harder, might I add, than Garrett Cole, throwing harder than Garrett Cole, but also dropping his arm angle, throwing 80-mile-an-hour frisbees. Nate Eovaldi came with a plan. Alex Cora came with a plan. Garrett Cole was like, I'm going to throw it by you. And Aaron Boone was like, let's go. Let's just play ball. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, it did. Is Alex Cora the best manager in baseball?
I don't see how you can not say that right at this point.
I agree.
Mean, maybe you could say Kevin Cash. I mean, they won 100 games, but the managing within the game,
Alex Cora,
like it was a chess match while the Yankees were not even playing checkers. They were playing Connect 4.
Eovaldi having the start that he had and Garrett Whitlock finishing it out was the Eli Manning double bird.
How ironic. How ironic that Garrett Whitlock ended up closing it out, the former Yankees farmhand who Yankees, I don't know if they really knew what to do with Garrett Whitlock. Red Sox did. I don't know if the Yankees really knew what to do with Eovaldi. Red Sox did. Look at them now.
And let's go forward. Let's look at the Yankees now. Who do you have confidence in on the roster right now? And then we'll get to up top. Player-wise, who do you like?
Aaron Judge, hard not to like him. What an unbelievable season. And I want to just talk about the Yankees offense as a whole quickly because Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton had fully healthy, fantastic years. And yet still we had a plus 42 run differential. The offense still wasn't that good.
Yep.
So that means there's a lot more holes than not. And it's not a Judge and Stanton being injured problem. Glaber, since he moved back to second, has actually been phenomenal at the plate and defensively. Gio Urshela has been a shell of himself. Will he ever return to his old self that 1 year? DJ LeMahieu.
Is that a fluke for Gio?
Is that a fluke? It might be. It might be he's just not that great of a hitter. Good glove, but there are plenty of good gloves in baseball. Yeah. DJ LeMahieu didn't wow me this year on defense, and he certainly didn't wow me at the plate. Gary Sanchez. Do I even need to say anything?
No.
No.
Do you want to keep Higashioka?
No. Well,
is Brett Gardner done? Like, just get him away.
I'm not going to start talking smack about Brett Gardner. Brett Gardner has been a clubhouse leader. Like, I love Brett Gardner, but he probably played his last game in a Yankee uniform. And in that last game, I mean, Brett Gardner, you struck out every single at bat. Struck out every single at bat.
Everybody knew that he wasn't swinging at the first pitch. I mean, that's a really hard mindset to have right now. In this era of baseball, being behind 0-1, you're screwing yourself time and time again.
And he has this 2-strike swing where it looks like there's no way you could even hit anything.
Yeah.
He moves his feet like I think it's his last game. I mean, we love Garrett Cole, right? Who's the 2?
Is it Heel? Is it Davey? I don't think it's on the roster.
Exactly. Even if we had won that game, Yankee fans, who's throwing game 1 against the Rays? We're going to lose. We just weren't as good as these other teams this year. And that's it's not a frustration of, oh my God, this Yankee team was so good and we just laid an egg and they didn't even try. No. This is a frustration of the continued belief that this same core of guys that has never proved anything to us, that for some reason we believe that this is a championship roster when it simply is not.
Let's go to Aaron Boone. He done?
Something to say about Aaron Boone.
Yeah, is he done? I don't have much to say about this situation because you are the one that should be talking, because you watch every single fucking pitch that comes out of a Yankees arm.
It's killing me.
I mean, yeah, but like, you have suffered through it, so you should be the one. Like, obviously they're never going to listen to you. They're never going to listen to the fans.
You don't think they're going to listen to me?
No, like, even if they form that mega rat, right? Like,
I know.
Yankee fans will never have a say in the Yankees day to day. Having said that, I genuinely feel like you have a stronger grasp on what the Yankees have to do than what Brian Cashman thinks the Yankees have to do. We'll get to Cashman in a moment. Start with Aaron Boone.
Is Aaron Boone a good manager? That is a question I don't really know the answer to, quite frankly.
I'll actually take this for a moment. I think Aaron Boone is a good clubhouse manager.
Yes.
He's a really good offensive coordinator. He's not a head coach. If we were to compare it to,
it might be like a Jason
football.
Garrett.
Yeah, exactly.
But comparing him to Jason Garrett is also kind of mean, because Jason Garrett, didn't win anything. Aaron Boone, consecutive 100-win seasons before 2020. I mean, we're in the playoffs. My thing with Aaron Boone, and everyone's saying, fire Aaron Boone, fire Aaron Boone. He's the problem. Who are you going to hire? Because the same Yankee fans were trying to bite Joe Girardi's head off. And yet, as soon as Joe Girardi leaves, we bring in Aaron Boone. Now it's bring Girardi back. I don't know if there's a manager that can figure this out that's in baseball right now. Because you even think about, because how important are managers really? And now this is just ranting. How important are managers really? Gabe Kapler with the Phillies went to the Giants and now he's amazing. Does it really just have to do with the guy fitting the clubhouse mold? And does Aaron Boone fit the clubhouse mold? Does he fit the mold as the Yankees manager? You know who did? Joe Torre. Since then, we haven't had that guy. And since then, we haven't really won either.
Yep. How about Cashman?
I wrote my college essay on Brian Cashman. I wanted to be the next Brian Cashman. I love Brian Cashman. And the thing is, everyone's going to pile on him being like, oh, you made the roster. And yeah, he didn't do a great job with the roster, but he did do some good things. Let's not forget he got Clay Holmes, who's the best player on the New York Yankees. Let's not forget he got Wandy Peralta. He believed in Loizaga. He did a lot of good things. But what he hasn't done is changed really the fabric of this team since 2017. And that obviously was the peak. Maybe were they over-delivering? That was Aaron Judge's rookie season where he hit 52 home runs. Does he ever do that again?
Maybe.
Was that the peak of the power? Not, oh, this is in the early 90s and this is going to continue. No. 2017 was the peak and now we're on the downswing. This isn't a dynasty. That was a peak year and now we're on the decline.
The Yankees went into 2021 as division favorites with this roster, pretty much. There were some injuries that hampered them here and there, but for the most part, everybody came back in some capacity here. Some people were shells of themselves, right? Gio Urshela, how about DJ LeMahieu? He was constantly on and off. But for the most part, there was some roster continuity here. And you dealt with the injury blows, but so did a lot of other teams. I'm not trying to make that as an excuse. If they return an identical roster to the one that they returned in 2021, so a team that was favored to win the division and didn't make it out of the wild card, our preseason props, right? You're looking at division winners, you're looking at World Series winners. Where do the Yankees lie within the AL East next year if they make hardly any changes to the fabric of this roster?
The Blue Jays are going to go add pitching. The Red Sox are going to go bolster their bullpen. They're probably going to add a starter. The Rays don't need to do anything. They're going to get Glasnow back. They're fourth. They're the fourth best team in their own division. If they don't do anything, they have not. And going back on the Brian Cashman, where Brian Cashman has not done well, he's never really solidified a solid 3 in a rotation. Really ever. Really in my entire lifetime have we had a legitimate playoff trio.
Okay, so we're talking about that right now. He's never had a 3. We just said the 2 isn't on the roster. A non-Garrett Cole starter next year when the Baltimore Orioles are running out Adley Rutschman in the 3 spot and Grayson Rodriguez to the mound. Which game are you more inclined to watch?
That's unfair because I'm a Yankee fan. But if I'm a baseball fan and you're looking for an opinion, I say you should go watch that one, the Orioles one. Like I'm addicted. I'm like a heroin addict, and the heroin is the Yankees.
But are you going to be addicted to Andrew Heaney on the mound when G-Rod's there, or Shane Baz is starting for Tampa, or Jose Barrios is starting for Toronto, or even Pivetta starting for the Red Sox? That's just a better team to watch than Andrew Heaney starting for the Yankees or Taillon starting for the Yankees.
Well, Andrew Heaney is actually, he got DFA'd. He's not on the Yankees anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
He got DFA'd. He's gone.
Okay.
So it won't be him. But is it Jameson Taillon? Is it Nestor Cortez, who I love? Will he be as good as he was next year? We don't know. I hope so. It looks like. I mean, he's effective. It's not like he's going to lose velocity. He could still be effective. But is he a 2? Is Jordan Montgomery a 2? How does Luis Severino look? Also, another thing on Boone that I never even mentioned. You should not have put Luis Severino out there for the 6th inning. He pitched a great 5th. He has not gone more than 2 innings. He went more than 2 innings twice this season. His past 2 starts, only 1 inning. Should not have put him out there. I was sick to my stomach when I saw him going out there. Sick to my stomach. We had plenty of other relievers. Could have gone to Wandy there.
Yep. Deep breath.
I'm okay. I mean, I love baseball. I'm very excited for the playoff series. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I got my rant out. I went on a huge rant on Twitch, on TikTok. I got embarrassed. Hundreds of thousands of people watched that video of me saying the Yankees were going to win and how that other guy who picked the Red Sox. I got what was handed to me. The Yankees got what was handed to me. And I'll end it with this. It was good that they lost in the wild card because it goes to show this team was never really in it from the beginning. And Brian Cashman, if you're still there, you have a lot of work to do.